Step 1. Find and cut your materials. Materials used for this step is a jigsaw, bar clamps, poplar boards, a hacksaw, tape measure, and pencil. I started by taking a trip to my local Home Depot to find a lumber or wood with great grains. The poplar board offered everything that I was looking for, great grains at a great price. Next, I organized my work area for cutting. I'm using these bar clamps to help keep the poplar board in a stable position while I measure and cut the back, the sides, and the base for my floating ladder shelves. I started by figuring out where exactly I wanted the front of my legs to stop. I decided to make the front of my legs line up with the front of my vanity, which is equal to 16 1/4. I then used blue tape and my pencil to transfer the measurements from the vanity to the floor. Next, I align what will be the front of my ladder with the 16 1/4 mark transferred to the floor of my blue tape. Using my tape measure, I measured the gap from the floor to the top of the ladder to get the angle needed for the shelves, which was equal to 3/8 of an inch. Next, I used my rafter square, my measuring tape, and pencil to transfer the 3/8 angle to my legs, and then I proceeded to cut them with my hacksaw blade. I chose to use a hacksaw blade simply just for preference. Step number 2, filling and assemble. Materials used for this step is an impact gun, a screw gun, a number 6 countersink bit, 1 1/4 screws, bar clamps, wood filler, and a tape measure. I started by fitting the base, the back, and the sides of the shelves together. I have highlighted all of the lengths you would need to make one shelf. Using my number 6 countersink bit, I drilled holes deep along the edge of the shelves so that the screw heads will be sunken deep into the poplar board. The holes will be filled with plastic wood filler later. Using wood filler and my 2-inch putty knife, I filled all of the countersink holes with plastic wood filler. I really like this wood filler. It applies very smoothly and it's very easy to sand. Next, I laid out all the pieces to the floating ladder shelves, the top, the mid, the bottom, and the left and the right legs as well. Now I'm drawing out the locations of all my shelves. Starting at the top of my legs, I measured 4 inches down to the location of my first shelf. I then drew out the thickness of the top shelf so that it would be easier for me to calculate the 1 foot distance between the remaining mid and bottom shelves accurately. The 2 pieces of wood highlighted are samples I made to give me the 16 1/4 angle needed for my legs. I will attach these 2 pieces to my legs temporarily shortly. Now, I'm attaching my shelves to the legs. I started by attaching my 2.5 by 30 shelf 4 inches down from the top of my legs, aligning the shelf flush and even to the face of the right and left leg. Next, I aligned and screwed my mid-shelf with an overhang of 1/2 inch from the front edge of the right and left leg. Using my bar clamps for this part made this process incredibly easy. I followed the process it took to attach the mid-shelf with the bottom shelf, with exception for the front edge overhang. Instead of a 1/2 inch overhang, I did a 1 inch overhang instead. Step 3. Sanding and painting. Materials used for this step is a 150 grit sandpaper, white chalk paint, poly plus stain, Scott shop towels, blue tape, paintbrush, and wood filler. I started by filling in all the remaining countersink holes that was made along the ladder shelves. Next, I lightly hand sanded the entire ladder, preparing it for paint. Using my blue tape, I covered all of the areas on my shelves that will be stained. All the edging of the legs and the shelves, the base of the shelves as well. I am now applying 2 coats of white chalk paint to this project. You can apply as many coats as you see fit. I absolutely love using this chalk paint. It dries incredibly easy and it's really great quality paint. It took about 15 minutes for the first and second coat to dry. Now that the paint is dry, I am removing all of the tape from the base and the edging of the shelves. Next, using my Scott shop towels, I carefully applied my stain to the base and the edging of my shelf. I also added tape around the white accents of my shelf so that it doesn't get damaged from the stain. Step 4. Hardware and installation. Materials used for this step is an impact gun, a screw gun, drywall anchors, sawtooth hangers, a 1/4 inch drill bit, and rubber mallet. I started by installing the sawtooth hangers to the mid-shelf using the small nails that came in the package and my mallet. Finally, I installed the plastic dry anchors and screws using my 1/4 inch bit and screw gun. I made the holes needed for my anchors and then installed my screws. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.